Okay, so I had this idea of making this episode the Spotify episode because I figured out that there are apps out there. No, hold on, let me back up. So there's apps out there that track your music listening, your habits, or whatever you're listening. Yeah, I guess your listening habits, when you listen to the most, which artists, which songs, and it keeps track so you can see in the last year, 2 years, and the last 5 months, last 5 days, what your top artists, songs, everything, what those are. And so I've always had this app. It's called Last FM, and Last FM tracks all the shit. I never paid for the premium version because I just wanted to know how many times I listened to songs. But I only got that about 3 years ago, and I've had Spotify Premium since 2015, and I've had, I guess, the free version for longer than that. So I came across this app. It's called stats.fm, and I think it was previously called Spotta Stats, something like that. And all it does is track all of your music. Yeah, how many times you listen to a song, an artist, an album, and then there's so many details in each thing. So for example, if I click on this track right here, it's called Overthinking by Hollow City. If I click on that track, it says I've streamed it 25 times. I've listened to it for a total of 75 minutes. The track length is 3 minutes. Top listeners. So it says who the top listeners are. I'm going to say in the world, but this is just for Spotify and also for those who are signed up. But it looks like there's millions of people on here. So let me actually check real quick. So let's see if I'm in the top. So for this specific song, I'm 13th in the world listening to it. It just came out though, so maybe that's a little bit why. But so if I go down here, it'll tell me. See, it should be at the very end. I don't know. Actually, we'll figure it out later. But before I get into all this, I want to just kind of go over this because I got my lifetime statistics back. So ever since 2015, what my top songs or top albums are, and everything like that. So my top bands, everything. And I think I want to do an episode kind of like this somewhat often, just because I like music a lot. I listen to a shit ton of it. I'm almost at 1 million minutes, and that's crazy to think about. So if I can kind of document where I'm at with music, because I listen to a lot, and it fuels a lot. And I'm going to talk about that today, because I'll just brush over it real quick. But during my outdoor workout, I found a new song because of this software that I'm using, and I found a new band. They're called Orbit Culture. Never heard of them ever for some reason. Don't know why. But I just discovered them. Listened to We Shall Serve, or We Will Serve. I can't remember the name. But holy fuck. It's incredible, dude. It's absolutely incredible. And so I was listening to that on my run. And I ran for 13 minutes straight, which is probably 1.25 miles for me. So that's really cool. That's the furthest I've ever ran without stopping. It's really sick. I've also been reading this book. It's called The Power of Discipline by Daniel Walker. I talked about that a couple days ago, and it's such a great book. It's just straight to the point. There's no fluff. It's very well written, and so far so good. Big fan. I'm on page 67. I'm already halfway down. I gotta buy another book, dude. I'm already halfway down. I'm looking at the side. God damn, bro. I gotta buy another one. But before we get into all this, so today at work, it was a really interesting day. We had a fire alarm, but that fire alarm went on for hours, and so everybody left, and blah, blah, blah. Then we had this bowling thing. It was fun. And so a 9.5 hour work day, I worked for an hour, so that's cool. And I got paid for a full 9. So that's sweet. But the fire alarms kept going off. It was a test, but I work in a big, empty, echoey shop. There's a lot of concrete in there, so the sound just bounces off the fucking walls. And so, long story short, manager walks over and says, "Hey, fuck this. Let's just go to breakfast." And so everybody goes to breakfast except me. I stayed back. I stayed in the break room, put my noise canceling AirPods in, and what I did was worked on the business. And I felt really cool and really in control doing that. I sat down in the break room while everyone else is doing their thing. They went out to eat. They went and had a good time. Went out to get, and good for them. That's a good time. Of course, I would love to go out and do that shit, but I felt incredible staying back, knowing the other people went to go have this type of fun with everybody and blah, 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 but I stayed back to get work done. And I say it all the time, but shit like that, dude, I take pride in because I know I'm going to be successful, and I know things like this that I have no problem doing, by the way, are going to widen that gap between me and the next guy. And it's not even about the next guy, but it's just widening that gap between, I guess, who I used to be and who I'm going to become and who I'm becoming now. So it's a cool feeling because I sat there for an hour, wrote some Instagram captions, which doesn't seem like much, but it takes a lot of effort and thought process to write down a solid caption for social media, especially if you're trying to seem professional and trying to be clever and try to do something or write something that you haven't seen before. And so I sat back, wrote that, looked into the ingredient. What's it? Rhodiola? Is that what it is? I think it's called Rhodiola. Yeah, rhodiola. Looked into rhodiola, and it actually looks pretty good. I might actually add that. It looks like you can throw in a tiny amount, as low as 50 milligrams, which is, I don't know the price of rhodiola, just the ingredient in bulk off the top of my head as far as putting it into a product. But I'm not trying to break the bank on the product and have my margins be $1, because I also was watching some videos and I came across just some points, some key points, and those key points being the fact that there's a lot more that goes into having that margin be something that you can make a living off of, or grow the business off of. And so what I mean by that is, of course, so let's say I have a product and it takes $30 to make. If I sell that product for $40, that's $10 margin, except for the fact that, and let me pull it up. So hold on. So if I have a product, it costs me $30 to make, and I sell it for $40, it's $10 profit margin. However, I need to buy the following: bubble wrap boxes, paper, pens. I mean, paper and pens is virtually nothing, but bubble wrap boxes, paper, pens. I got to pay for Shopify, got to pay for credit card processing fees. There's a couple ideas that I want to add into it. I'm not going to spoil that yet. And those are very, very cheap. We're talking like maybe 20 cents. And then we have label printer labels, a label printer, potency tests, so third-party testing to ensure that the product is what it is. Shipping costs to the customer, shipping costs for manufacturer, get my LLC, food handlers bullshit. I don't even know if that's what I need, but I just briefly wrote down everything really quick. FDA approved registry or whatever the fuck it is. And then a whole lot of other business shits. And if I have an office, or if I have a little warehouse, or if I have a little something, then that adds into it too. So all that is somehow got to be less than $10 per order. Otherwise, I'm not making a profit. And those are just example numbers. So hopefully it costs me a little bit less to make, and hopefully I'm able to sell it for just a little bit more. Because I think at the time of recording this, and this could change in an hour, who knows, but I think I want to go with a 30 serving tub, or even something a little bit different, because one of our core values is, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, so clearly I don't know them, but I'm in the process of making them all and writing them and putting them in detail, but is to go the extra mile and then go a little bit more. I can't remember what I called it, but so instead of doing the right thing and then doing a little bit extra, we're going to go the extra mile. Well, hold on. I think I'm wording that wrong. So pretty much just go the extra mile, right? A little bit more. So we don't have a guarantee, right? We have a promise. If you don't like the product, then we'll give you a refund plus a little bit more. So that's kind of the idea. And so instead of 30 servings, we're going to do 31. And for no reason other than we're going to do a little bit more. That's it. No reason, no scientific, nothing. 31 servings. Also, someone's going to see that and be like, what the fuck, bro? 31? It's a little bit of a talking point with some locker room talk, you know? When I hit the locker rooms up at the gym, I kind of listen into what people are talking about. I'm always talking about workout splits and, oh, you're looking good, bro. Or is that Gymshark? Oh, sick. You know, it's just shit like that. But, you know, it's something that I would bring up. I'd be like, dude, I got this product, and what the fuck is 31 servings? Okay. And then the person would be like, what? No, they would say, yeah, okay, well, it's sick, cool. Might look at the product and then be like, okay, yeah, that one's, you know. And obviously that might just be completely made up in my head, but if it gets somebody even thinking about it or even looking at the product, it's worth it. So, yeah, no definite decision making here yet, but a lot of products are 30 servings, 20 servings. But if we're going to do 20, we're going to do 21. If we're going to do 30, we're going to do 31. Might even do something crazy like 35, because you never see that shit. And am I not worried about people not buying the product on a recurring basis often enough? Well, if they love the product, they'll buy it again. And that's it. So the idea is to get them to love the product, love the service, love the brand, love the messaging, believe in us, and then go from there, dude. So, anyway, stayed back, got that shit done, looked into rhodiola, and it seems like a pretty good additive, or excuse me, a good addition to the product formula. Because at the moment, let me pull this up real quick. We've got, because I just added one more ingredient. It's been in there the whole time, but I guess I never wrote it down. But it is theobromine, which is a kind of like caffeine. So let's see here. Where the fuck did I put it? Where the fuck is the shit at, dude? Okay, yeah. So if I do choose to add dynamine, and then choose to add the rhodiola, that'd be an additional total 250 milligrams approximately. So that would put the total scoop up to 22 grams. And that's pretty sweet, dude. That's a solid ass scoop. It's solid serving size. So we got a lot of ingredients in here, and they're all very great. Looked into a lot of them. Looked into the research and the studies, and some. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the ingredients do have studies and research linked to them that otherwise don't show the best results, I guess, or the type of results that you would expect if you're going to put it in a product, But then there's other studies that show the complete opposite. And so I guess it just depends on what I want. So if I'm buying a product and I know that this specific ingredient has studies on it that are 50-50, do I want to take it? And the answer, I think, if I'm really thinking about it and being honest, I think the answer comes down to, okay, well, if this ingredient only cost me an extra $1, is that dollar worth having a 50% chance to gain additional strength, recovery, focus, whatever it is? And the answer for that, for me, is yes. Yes, it is. And so an extra $1 or whatever, $2, we'll exaggerate here, an extra $5 a tub to get that 50-50 chance, yes, I do want to spend $5 to get that 50-50 chance of having these results. And I don't know, I'm not a percentage and statistics and probability type person, but I know that I'm not even going to get into it because I'm going to sound like a dumbass, so never mind. All I was going to say is that it's 50-50 based on the subjects that they tested, but am I like them, am I not like them, how many things do I have in common with them as far as traits and the way I'm training, yada, 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 yada. So anyway, all that being said, I felt really cool and in control of my life and disciplined, staying back while everybody went out and had a good time. I stayed back in the break room, got shit done. And it felt good. So that's what I wanted to share with that. Now, let's get into Spotify real quick. So I realize we're way over halfway. And so this is probably not going to be the Spotify episode. Or maybe it will be. Who knows? Yeah, I'm declaring it. So if you don't give a fuck about what I'm listening to or care about this app called Stats FM, then I would tune out now, because that's the only thing I'm going to talk about for the rest of the episode. Because I think this shit is very fascinating. I think it's interesting to see my listening habits and patterns. And maybe I'll do one of these twice a year or something like that to reflect on the music and share with you guys my favorite bands and stuff like that. Because I'm a metalhead at heart. I also love hardstyle and EDM, kind of. I also like rap, certain type of rap. I don't like mainstream. Virtually anything that's mainstream, I don't care about. I have no interest in. And I don't have an interest to learn more about it. It's just I don't like associating with the mainstream bullshit. I'm good. I like listening to stuff that not a lot of people know about, but a select few do, and I'm able to talk with them and relate and have a good time about that shit, as opposed to freaking out about every time I don't even know who rapper is, dude. Every time Drake or I don't know any other rappers, dude. Just fuck all that, dude. Oh man. So anyway, all right. So my lifetime of all my music on Spotify, that is. I mean, I've had some iTunes music and stuff. So there's probably a 0.5% of shit missing here, but for the most part, it's all there. So as of Friday the 13th, Friday the 15th of December, 2023, 9:07 p.m. These are my stats for Spotify. So I have 267,558 streams, meaning that's how many songs I've listened to in the last about 7-8 years. I've listened to 851,861 minutes worth of music. This is not including podcasts either. And if you check the Spotify Wrapped, I think I have 14,000 in podcasts. So if you want to keep that the same, we'll just say it's 10 grand. So that add an additional 80 grand minutes to this total here, which is just shy of 1 million, which is crazy. Hours. Okay, so I've listened to 46,217 different tracks. And so that means the average time I've spent listening to every single track is 5. But that's not the case, obviously. I've listened to 16,213 different artists, and I've listened to 29,311 different albums, which is crazy. So my top genres from my whole life here: metalcore, melodic metalcore, post, screamo, deathcore, pop rap, sad rap, screamo, indie pop rap, Christian metalcore, Christian rock, deep underground hip hop, pop punk, classic hardstyle, euphoric hardstyle, raw style, tunecore, American metalcore, and there's way too many to list. So my top tracks of all time, the ones that I've listened to the most out of any song ever, I'm gonna give my top 5. When Everything Means, so all of these songs are actually by Fit for a King. Well, except one. But When Everything Means Nothing, The Price of Agony, Backbreaker, Oblivion, Tower of Pain by Fit for a King. And then we have Higher by Justin Stone. And so I've listened to all of these 544 times, 506 times, and 490, 376, 352, and 352. So those are tied. That's crazy. And so those are my top tracks of all time. And so in my top 50, so there's 50 songs here. My 50th song is Blossom by Alaska. I've listened to it 161 times. Now if we go to my top 100, let's see. My 100th song is 21 Intro by Justin Stone. I've listened to it 122 times. Let's go to 250. 250th most listened to song is Bad Habits by Attila at 84 times. My top artists of all time, as of now, Justin Stone with almost 15,000 streams. 15,000. And here's the interesting thing. So if I click on him, this thing down here, if I click on him, it'll tell me who listens to him the most. And this is insane to think about because I am the second highest person in the world who listens to Justin Stone. So the first place guy has 92,000 minutes, Julian, and I'm second place. I got 37,000. Third place is Connor. He's got 18,000. And then after that, it's a really tight neck race. So it seems like first place is triple me. I'm double third place as second. And everybody else is really neck and neck. And that's crazy because out of everybody in the world, and for the record, I know it's not the world, but it is of everybody on Spotify and everybody who has this app. But it is millions of people who do have this app and shit. So for ease of communication here in the world, nobody's listened to Justin Stone more than I have, except for this guy Julian, which is pretty sweet. It's cool to think about. Love Justin Stone, man. He's got some good ass shit. So number 1 is Justin Stone. We got almost 15,000 streams. Second up, we got Fit for a King at 9,500 streams. Third up, we have I Am J Kill, 4,000. Fourth is Attila, 3,200. Fifth is Chelsea Grin at 3,000. And so I'm just going to name off my top 10 real quick. So we have Justin Stone, Fit for a King, I Am J Kill, Attila, Chelsea Grin, Josh A, Wage War, Emure, Breakdown of Sanity, and Token. So of the top 10, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are rappers. And then I'm going to go, we'll just go to 25 real quick. So we have The Plot in You, Gideon, We Came as Romans, The Noise Unheard, Wasted Penguins, The Ghost Inside, Currents, Holly, Dayseeker, Aviana, Miss May I, Secrets, Kingdom of Giants, Upon a Burning Body, and Era. And that's my top 25. And if you're interested, and obviously by the time you ask, it'll be different than what you're listening to now, but I can send you a top 100 artists of all time. So my 100th most listened to artist of all time is Fit for an Autopsy, 504 streams. And then going up from 100 is Suicide Silence, Dream on Dreamer, Whitechapel, Code Black, 95, Tear Out the Heart, Ocean's Red, Unseen Faith, Stick to Your Guns, I Prevail. Also, I Prevail is way too mainstream now, so I'm out. No Company, and if you know who No Company is and you're from Utah, you're a fucking homie. Shout out to John. Love you, brother. You make some good-ass music. You need to make some more, though. We got Too Close to Touch, Carcer City, Breakdown at Tiffany's. And I'm not going to read every single one. That'd be ridiculous. But, so I can click on each one of these and see who's listened to them the most. So, for example, I'm going to click on Higher by Justin Stone. And it'll tell me who's listened to this song the most. Where is it? So, it looks like I've listened to this song the most out of anybody else in the world at 376 times. Second place guy is 176. So, nobody's listened to the song more than I have in the world. So, that's pretty cool. Let's go. No, let's just go pick a random. Let's go Windwalkers. So Windwalker, I'm not going to be the first on this one, but so how many times we listened to this? So 2,221. So who's got the most? Well, that was minutes, 2,221. So with Windwalkers, so they're very popular. They're essentially mainstream now, so I'm probably on my way out, but they're very good. 38th in the world for listening to them, so that's cool. All right, let's go back here, touch on some other shit. So let's go back here, Lifetime. So metalcore and metal heavy shit, that's my jam. That's what I like the most. I like Justin Stone, Jake Hill, Josh A. I like that type of shit too. Okay, top albums. Where the fuck is the goddamn thing that I'm looking for? Top albums. Dark Skies by Fit for a King. Death Grip by Fit for a King. Creation Destruction by Fit for a King. Attila. Villain by Attila. And then Look at Yourself by Amir. Actually, I want to see who's listened to Creation Destruction the most. Is it me? So we got 1,479. Dude, 1,479. I'm second. There's only one person that has listened to this album more than me, and that is this guy named 1222486186. He's got me 300 beats. So we're going to definitely push for that number one spot, dude, because Fit for a King's a fucking incredible band. If you don't listen to them, you don't know who they are, go listen to them. Go listen to, and honestly, any album. It's incredible music. So here's my listening clock. So I listen to the most music. Let's see. Yep, between 3. Let's see. What is that? Between 3 and 4 o'clock p.m. And I listen to the least amount of music, obviously, between times that you might think. So, between 2 and 3 a.m., 3 and 4 a.m., 4 and 5 a.m., 5 to 6, yeah. And when it starts picking up is 7 to 8 a.m., and then that skyrockets all the way up to 4. All right. So that's the music clock. And I'm looking on my computer here. I'm not looking on my phone. Looks like there's a little bit more stats on my phone than on the computer. Yeah, there definitely is. You can also you can also find friends on here. So you can find people who share the same music taste as you. Swipe on them and say, hey, I want to be your homie. So that's pretty sweet. I haven't done that yet, but it's something cool that you can do. I'm actually going to pull out my phone here because there's more stats on my phone. And my phone's about to die. I love that, dude. I left my watch at work, so I'm not going to be able to get that till Monday. That's awesome. All right, so. Oh, yeah, this shit goes back to 2013, dude. Damn. Okay, so streams by day of the week. So I listen to the most music on Wednesdays at 39,724 streams. I listen to the least amount of music on Fridays at 35,000. I listen to the most amount of music in August at 24,000. And I listen to the least amount of music in April at 19,000. Quite a difference. There's 5,000. That's nuts. Streams by year. So, damn, dude. So I don't know how some of these numbers work because they don't add up. But 2013, I guess, is probably when I just got Spotify because I only had 898 streams. 2014, dude, that was 11 years ago. Holy fuck. That's crazy. 2014 had 8,000 streams. I'm rounding up. 14 had 8,000. 15 had 9,000. 16 had 26,000. 17 had 42,000. 18 had 26,000. 19 had 34,000. 20 had 20,000. 2021 had 28,000. 22 had 34,000. 23 had 36,000. So it's interesting. I'm trying to figure out what was going on in my life, at least during these years, and why I listen to so much music. It's interesting shit, dude. I love stuff like this. And here's so on average, my entire life, I've averaged 247 minutes per day, and an average of 72 songs per day. So 247 minutes per day times 365. That's an average of 90,000 minutes per year for the last 10 years, even including. Actually, I'm going to change this. We're going to go from here to, we're going to go 12, 15, 2015, because it seems like that's when we started listening. So I'm going to take the first 2 years out. Okay, I guess the fucking numbers have to be the different. Okay. So we're going to go 8 years. We're going to click OK. So, an average of 277 minutes per day, which is, let's see, an average of 101,000 minutes per year. Streams per year. Okay, so what was I just checking? I can't remember what I was just checking. Oh shit, guys, I'm tired as fuck. Oh, and it tells me. That's right. So it tells me all my music, right? So 84% of my tracks are energetic, 53% of my tracks are danceable, 23% are lively, 13% are speechful, 8% are acoustic, 6% are instrumental. And that's a breakdown of music right there. So let's see. So I've spent a total of 591 days straight, uninterrupted, of listening to music. Not even counting podcasts. That's the craziest part of all this. I think I was going to go and try to swipe on some people. So I clicked on social. This guy is named Christopher. Go away or I will eat you and your shitty pronouns. Weird way to say that, but good for you to skip him. All these people have weird ass profile photos, and I know it's a music thing, so you're not supposed to. I get that, but yeah. So you match with somebody, you add them as a friend, and you can see that it suggests people to you that you have high amounts of music in common with, which is pretty cool. What else do we have here? Also, if you're interested in doing this, it's stats.fm. You download the app, you pay, I think it's $10 or $13. And if you're bitching about that, you probably just spent that on dinner last night, so shut the fuck up. Or you probably bought a t-shirt in the last month, shut the fuck up. Or, your just priorities are weird and it's all good, but it doesn't fucking matter if you buy $14 worth to track your music. I'm just busting your dick on this, okay? No homo. And so it costs $14 or something like that. You get instant access to everything, but there is a kind of a delay, which is fine. What you have to do is go to Spotify, download your data, and you have to wait up to 30 days. It took me about 2 weeks. I finally got my data today, so I uploaded it in there, and that's how I have all these stats. So it's pretty sweet. So I was able to upload that and see how I've been doing for the last, I guess now 11 years, 10 years almost, 10 years, 11 years almost. So pretty sweet stuff, dude. I love learning and seeing this in projections. I always talk about this to my friends, but I wish that there was some kind of way that we had statistics on life. Because when you're playing a video game, you can pause, you can go to the setting, you can see all your stats. Like, oh man, I've traveled 500 kilometers, or I have killed 500 chickens, or whatever. I wish you could do that in life, but have an infinite filter. So, and I mean the nitty gritty shit, just the shit that nobody cares about. How many times have I picked up a red piece of paper and thrown it with my left hand and it didn't hit the garbage can? Shit like that. And then of course things like, how many reps have I done on bench press? How much weight total have I squatted? Shit like that. Because that's so cool to me. I wish we just had some kind of filter or some kind of machine that counted everything that we did. I'm sure we're going to get to heaven and then we're going to have a whole stats thing, or at least it better be. Otherwise, heaven blows. But that's it, dude. I love metal. I love metalcore. Don't like old school shit. Don't really care for the very metal sounding, and I don't know how to explain that to somebody who's not listening or doesn't listen to metal. I like Justin Stone. I guess I like white boy rap. I just realized that. I'm looking at the photos, profile photos of all these rappers, and they're all white as fuck. I just realized that. Let's see. Justin Stone is white. Jake Hill's white. Josh Hay is white. Token's white. Who's the next? Yeah, Ollie's white. He's probably not, though. Who's the next rapper? And then I have a whole streak of metal. Dude, what's interesting is my top artists, Justin Stone is almost double fit for king, but my top genre is metalcore, and then my third is Jake Hill. So between Jake Hill and Justin Stone, it's 20 grand streams, and yet my top genre is metalcore still. That's crazy. Yeah, so if you go all the way down the list, it shows you all your genres. I've listened to so many genres, but this one is Canadian metalcore, electronic gent, progressive house, slam poetry, mathcore. What's mathcore, dude? So you can click on it, I'll tell you. What the fuck is mathcore? Architects is mathcore? No, it's not. What the fuck is mathcore, dude? I love math, by the way. Alright, guys, that's it. I'm done talking about music, but that's a Spotify podcast. That's that. Shout out to Stats FM. I'm not sponsored or any way compensated for anything that I said today. I think it's an incredible piece of software, and it seems like it's just one guy running the show, and so mad respect for him. So if you're listening, I can't remember his name. It's I know it's foreign for sure. It's Sworden something, SJ something or JS something. Shout out to you, dude, or woman. I don't know. I apologize, but this app is fucking incredible, and you can tell there's so much coding and so many algorithms, calculations, and shit. So I'm sure it was a bitch to code, but I'm very thankful for you. So keep making this shit, and I'll keep checking my stats here. Very cool. Fuck, dude, tired as shit. Okay, guys, that's the show. That's a Spotify episode. Peace.